Not a thing.
If anybody's not here, please speak up. Nobody spoke up.
They're all gone.
And we are live. Hopefully this week we are streaming the current version of our podcast. Last week we streamed about 15 or 20 minutes of
the old one.
The previous weeks. I have not yet updated my title, but I will shortly.
Oh, I'm live on all three.
Sweet. I am going to be live. Oh, you're live.
I feel terrible that my phone isn't ding when you go live.
And I am live. Oh,
but I have notifications muted on pretty much all my apps.
Usually I keep my phone muted, but not always.
Cool. We got a lot of boring topics.
Yep.
A couple okay ones. Verizon. Why create new products and innovate when you can just buy the companies that do it for you? Amazon is speaking out about your privacy concerns before they have their event, which was pretty cool. Not sure if it's going to help any. Apple Watch, just like last week, there's another life-saving story on how Apple Watch saved another guy. In a different way, too, which is the real incredible part.
Apple's the best.
Yeah. Buying used computer hardware, you probably shouldn't do it unless...
Just the CPU is fine.
Yeah, just the CPU. More from The Verge or PC Gamer or whoever else has bad advice for you.
Yeah.
VR stuff. A lot of VR is actually happening. Two things, I think, actually. There's a really, really high-end, detailed VR world of, I have no idea how to pronounce it, Versailles Palace.
It's a place. I think it's French.
Sure, but it's super cool, and I kind of want to download it and try it tonight.
Ah, yes.
Because I did look, and it's free on the Steam store for the HTC Vive, so we might actually try it tonight. Just to see what a high-end, like a really fancy real-world place looks like.
Yeah, we've never been anywhere fancy.
Or real.
This is an illusion.
It's all part of your imagination. Internet might turn out to be just like your TV and cable and satellite.
Yep.
And terrible.
Yep.
That's how I see it going. We'll see if Jay thinks the same thing. Facebook is creating Second Life VR ripoff.
Yes.
Type ordeal. It looks really cool, and I'm really excited for it. I like it all the way.
We'll see.
Atari is still making money off of its games. I have no idea how. Amazon's found new ways to track people, which is pretty amazing. You thought they would run out of ways by now.
Not yet.
There's another one. Motorola and their new Razr phone, which I am beyond ecstatic for. Go ahead and drop a $2,000 super chat in the comments so that I can buy this one.
We'll do a review if you do that.
Yeah, 2,300 because Google takes 30%. 2,600. I don't know how math works. Drop enough for me to have 2,000 after 30% is taken out. That's what we need. Nintendo Switch Lite is having the same problems the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons are having, and the lawsuit's just slowly expanding over Nintendo. Hopefully they can get this fixed. And I saw in a recent article that there's an update to this story already from 3 hours ago. I always pronounce their name wrong. Hyundai.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
I always pronounce it Hyundai because it's spelled like that. They don't want roads anymore. They want to get rid of our roads. They want to roll them up.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Oh, one day, man. Mr. Elon has big plans. We don't need roads there either.
Nope. Maybe one day we'll need some roads on Mars, but not yet.
We got to plan ahead. Gonna get them up there.
Not if Mr. Hyundai and Mr. Elon have their plans or,
Hyundai and Wikipedia
actually work, if they defeat gravity once and for all.
Yeah.
Good luck. All right, starting it off from the top. Verizon hopping off into the augmented reality and virtual reality world.
We'll combine those two.
Yep, they bought a startup named Jaunt XR. At least they bought a lot of tech from Jaunt XR and some software, although the article says that it's not certain whether they actually bought the company or just the tech from the company.
Which is kind of weird that no one knows.
It is. Someone probably knows, but
They're not talking.
They're not talking to us, so
Yeah.
there's that.
They just spelled my email wrong.
Yeah, they were going to send us an email, but they spelled our email wrong. Or our Instagrams.
Yeah. @gmail.com is a really hard thing to remember.
So it looks like Jaunt was intended for VR video and 360 video and that kind of thing. So it looks like Verizon's probably going to try and hop onto that bandwagon.
Yeah. So my favorite part of this entire thing is the last paragraph of this article. So before Verizon had bought up Yahoo and AOL, AOL had bought a VR company called Riot, RYOT, and then Verizon went on a buying spree and bought AOL, Yahoo. But this paragraph here, I'm just going to quote it. Verizon has been producing AR and VR content for a while. In 2016, it acquired a different VR video company called Riot. And then in parentheses, Riot was technically acquired by AOL, after AOL had been acquired by Verizon, but before Verizon had merged AOL with Yahoo to form Oath, then rebranded it as Verizon Media. Corporate consolidation is confusing, which is about as accurate with that statement as you can get. So Verizon just has too much money, from my understanding. And talking to Verizon customers, I can see how.
Yeah, kind of expensive.
So Verizon's just going to keep on buying until something works, I guess. I guess they're just not making enough money with phone bills. But I'd be interested to see if they can buy enough companies to produce something cool. Why not? I just really like that last paragraph, so I had to say it.
Yeah, yeah. 5G network speeds. Yeah, because you had tried to live stream 360 video from your phone.
Yes.
But
it didn't work.
Yeah, the connection on your phone just wasn't quite fast enough, I don't think.
So the two big problems I had was it was out in the country, which is part of it.
Yeah.
So I have bad service out there to begin with, which is weird because I have great service where I work. I have great service here, but the road between the two aren't that.
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's funny.
It works great for Pandora, but that's about it. And then I was also out of data. I only have 3 gigs. So
okay, yeah. Yeah, and I don't know how much data it takes to stream 360 video.
So I can do 8 megabits per second.
Okay.
Upload.
And I don't know how fast a phone generally can do, like a 4G phone. Because my phone has 4G LTE, which is, I think, currently kind of the fastest it goes. Yeah. I'm sure different services vary a little bit, but 5G should be a little bit faster.
I'm pretty sure Facebook limits at 4 megabits.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Facebook limits at 4 megabits. But then YouTube can do more and such.
How are our frames looking over there? 0% dropped frames. And right now we're streaming, 4 streams at
1080?
Yeah, 1080p.
Look, actually.
But what bit rate are we at? Yeah, we could break everything here. Sorry, guys.
Wait, we're at 5 megabit rate.
5 megabits, so we're going down 20 megabits. But that's off of Wi-Fi, so obviously...
It's off Ethernet.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot we ran that Ethernet cable. Yeah. It was a pain to run.
It only took like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Big old hole punched through the wall. We got it.
So we would not be able to run this off of a wireless connection, just because we're running...
We can actually
4 streams.
Through Task Manager. This will probably break it. Ethernet. Yeah, so there's our send. We're bouncing in the 20 to 24.
Yep. Which is kind of what we had expected.
Which is the max I got at the house. I think I have 25 at the max.
Wow. So this says Verizon 4G LTE according to LifeWire. Verizon's 4G LTE can be 36 megabits per second down and 15 megabits per second up. So it could almost support what we're streaming. And T-Mobile is similar. AT&T is similar. Sprint's a little bit slower at 7 to 8 megabits per second up, but still should actually be enough to stream your 360 video if you have LTE and enough data, of course.
Yeah, enough data is the hard
Because
part.
there's a lot of data going over, yeah.
You only have 3 gigs.
Yeah. So maybe Verizon will step into that kind of realm with the new company they just acquired.
Yeah.
Or the tech they acquired from the company.
Or something.
Maybe not the actual company.
Oh, what a mess.
Amazon. Trying to keep our trust with Alexa. And yeah.
So everyone knows I really like Alexa and Google.
Yes.
And everything else.
Deprivatize all the things.
Yep. Who needs privacy these days? It's overrated. This is from CNET. Amazon bolsters Alexa privacy after the user's trust takes a hit. And there's a picture of... Look at this internet speed. It's like someone's using it all. There's a picture here. There it is. Right there, there's a picture. It says, it's a tweet from ASD something. It's tagging Amazon. Help. I have privacy concerns surrounding your Alexa device. It is now joining into conversations without the keyword being mentioned, which was a problem for pretty much everybody, I think. So from my understanding from this article, because I only look at the title, there's now a menu you can go into, and you can deselect what you want it to not listen to. But it's an opt-out program, not an opt-in.
Gotcha.
That's the main takeaway there.
Yeah.
Is that,
which we talked about that last week as well.
Yeah.
These things should be opt-in, not opt-out.
Yeah. Or it should tell you while setting it up, hey, but it should still be opt-out. Or opt-in. Yeah, it should still be opt-in. Ooh, that's confusing. But it would be almost weird.
Oh, here it is. It says...
You found it?
Features would start letting customers opt out of human reviews if they wished. So that's maybe not what you were talking about, but at least not let employees listen to your recorded conversations and whatnot.
Yeah, so it's along with the new auto delete feature, this guy introduced the ability for customers to say to their Echo speakers, Alexa, tell me what you heard. And Alexa, why did you do that? These queries are meant to increase transparency around what Alexa is listening to, why it responds in certain ways. So it's almost like a really cool debug feature.
Interesting, yeah.
That would be kind of cool to say something to her, and like, why did you say that?
Yeah.
And it would make me so happy for it to have like a readout. Well, there was a 50% possibility you meant this, and a 20% possibility you meant this. And with the Wade algorithm something, I decided to go with this answer mixed with this, and I chose these words, and be like way too nerdy.
Yeah. Like, Alexa, shut up.
Yeah, but it's cool that they're actually talking about it, because Apple's not, and Google's would be like, well, what privacy?
But Apple is using some of this tracking for good things.
Really good things from the looks of it.
Such as saving people's lives. You know,
So-
it is good.
Would you rather the company save people's lives or be transparent?
You can do both. It could be an opt-in feature, which this was probably an opt-in feature.
You think it was?
Yeah.
I
I feel like
feature to be like that little notification when you install a new app. We need to use the permission to the heart rate sensor, which is technically opt-in, but no one looks at them.
Yeah.
It's the same opt-in as the EULA.
So, yeah. This is an article from over at 9to5mac.com. Not sponsored.
Yet.
A man, a 30-year-old, I guess it's a man. Yeah, it is a British father, so he must be a man, right? Had an irregular heartbeat, and his Apple Watch detected that and sent him a notification, which led him to go to the hospital and see what was going on. And the doctors were initially skeptical of this Apple Watch's kind of what it had detected, but they found out that his heart was in AFib, which is when it's beating irregularly.
All right.
Not like boom, 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 like boom, 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 boom.
Oh, like a triple.
Like your heart's
Yeah,
not
like
working correctly,
a heart
basically.
murmur or something.
Yeah, like it's not a...
Okay. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, not the heart thingy, but the Apple Watch finding it.
Yeah, yeah. So he was able to go to the hospital and get fixed up before he suffered a stroke or a heart attack. And later on in the article, the report describes the 30-year-old as a fitness fanatic, emphasizing how the Apple Watch's health features can benefit people of all ages and activity levels. So it wouldn't surprise me if he did opt in to this, being into fitness and having it track his heart rate.
That's very true.
I feel like even this should be opt-in.
Yep. I think anything beyond what the human can physically do should be opt-in stuff.
But a human can detect your heart rate.
But they can't detect the
someone else's heart rate?
Yeah.
You might be able to.
All right, if you're a doctor and without tools, if you're able to just look at a person and see if they have a heart
That's where the
murmur.
line is drawn?
That's
Why
where
is the line drawn there?
Because
What about a
human
regular person? What if a regular person can look at you and detect it?
Then I think that's fine.
So if the camera's just always recording your face, a regular person could detect your face. So is that fine?
No, it's not.
Yeah, there you go. So
we're about to have this argument again.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
3 articles.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely good that the Apple Watch detected this, but still probably should be an opt-in because it is kind of butting into your privacy. But yeah, 2 weeks in a row, Apple Watch has helped save a life at least.
What have you done, LEXA?
Just tracked people.
Yeah.
Should you buy used PC parts? I'm going to ask you a stupid question. Have you ever bought used PC parts?
Almost every week.
I also have bought used PC parts. And this article specifically talks about graphics cards. Have you ever bought a used graphics card? We'll say by itself, not in a build already. Just a used graphics card.
I bet I have. I'm trying to think of an exact.
I definitely have.
I did, yes. GTX 670.
Okay. I bought it was an AMD card. I don't even know what it was.
Yep.
It's in my brother's computer.
It was off Craigslist, and we met in a McDonald's parking lot.
This was off Craigslist as well.
The dude was super cool, too. But don't meet at McDonald's. Meet at the police station.
Yeah.
This was before police stations were a thing.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, we're still on my screen. PC World is doing a couple little videos. They're like little 5-minute videos on whether or not you should buy used hardware and other questions you would ask a computer nerd. And from this episode, they seem kind of right.
Yep. A man named Gordon said that it should be okay to buy a used CPU.
Which is not totally true.
But a man named Brad said you probably shouldn't buy a used GPU because of all the moving parts. And I would argue also because they were used in Bitcoin mining or possibly used in Bitcoin mining or just rough gaming.
Yep.
Just overclocked and overheated and...
Yeah. So before I actually buy used parts, because I get people in asking all the time.
Yeah.
If I'll buy their laptop off of them, or if I want this RAM or something.
Yeah.
I run IDA64.
To see what...
Stress test it.
Yeah.
I make them stand there with me for 10 minutes. I say, if you can pass the stress test, I'll give you an offer. If you can't pass the stress test, you're selling me a garbage bag of trash.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. Stress test it. If you can't, take someone with you. IDA64 is a tool every tech kind of knows how to use.
And if you're looking at buying a used GPU, I would definitely recommend watching the video because he does make some good points about kind of pricing and when you maybe should and when you shouldn't.
Yep.
So if you're buying it for half price, maybe go for it.
Yeah. It's not like a used car, I would say.
But if you're getting like $20 off, just
buy a new one.
buy it new, and you'll know it works. And if it doesn't work, you can return it for warranty.
Yeah. I look at it as the same as like cars. So this one's pretty cool. I like this. Engadget says Google used use that fancy word right there.
Photogrammetry.
To create a detailed VR tour of Versailles.
Yeah.
We're going to scroll down to these pictures.
This is the largest photogrammetry capture ever done on the site at the castle.
We're actually going to pull this off. So this is in... Whoa, that's a lot of fancy buttons. This is in VR.
So a team from Google and a team from the Palace teamed up to take people on a private tour of King Louis, what is that, 14th Royal Residence?
I'm not down that far yet.
So this is apparently a very popular tourist attraction and can get pretty crowded. But now you can go without a crowd in VR. And Google took a lot of pictures and probably 3D scans and collected 4 terabytes of data.
That's a whole lot of data.
Over 21 rooms and 387,000 square feet. That's a lot of square feet. That's a lot of big rooms.
Yeah.
That's like warehouses of big rooms.
This hallway's bigger than the house. So one thing I'm super interested in with this is that this is a real life place with like photos to recreate everything.
Yeah.
I would be curious on having like high-end designers, like 3D model designers, build just a virtual world that's hyper photorealistic. Because this is like real stuff, but then I wonder if you can make things look better starting from scratch and not. So instead of trying to make something in particular, you're just trying
to represent something that's in reality, just making something completely new.
Yeah. I wonder how much more realistic it would look.
It's a good question.
Because like a lot of VR games are still very cartoony.
And some of that I think is for performance reasons too.
I think it's a lot of performance reasons.
Yeah. So this will probably be mostly touristy looking around at stuff.
Yeah.
Rather than fast moving graphics and like a game.
The one thing I'm super curious on is if you can teleport anywhere or like you can walk anywhere.
Yeah.
Or if it's almost 360 points where you can go to like, oh, and we're going to jump 10 feet and we're going to jump 10 feet versus, oh, you can just slide around the room wherever you want to go.
That's a good question. So we can try this out later.
We're going to try it out
tonight, right? Yeah.
On the assumption that I have to download 4 terabytes.
Yeah.
Google.
I think that's a safe assumption.
But yeah, it looks really cool. Yeah, I'd be curious on how realistic you could go.
Yep.
Before modern day computers can't handle it.
And this is going to be available on the Vive and the Rift.
It's on Steam for free.
For now.
What is this? Oh, I put this article in there.
The internet.
Ooh.
Tell me how much you hate this.
I hate the internet. This is on whatever this website is called. Google faces more antitrust scrutiny over its new internet protocol.
So the congressional antitrust investigators, which are the people who are trying to prevent monopolies, at least is my understanding, are looking over these plans by Google to use a new kind of internet protocol. They're concerned that it would give Google a competitive advantage by making it harder for others to access consumer data. So first off, this doesn't really go into the protocol at all. This article doesn't. So it's very vague, and without it being a little bit clear what they're actually going to implement or wanting to implement, can't really make a sure judgment.
Nope, but you could speculate.
Go ahead and speculate.
Google Fiber. They already have the cables running. They are in my neighborhood. And now they're coming out with their own internet protocol.
So
Google could just say, screw the internet, and they could shut down on the normal internet standard and only be on their fiber. Destroy the internet.
reading this article, I
They're not
don't
going to do that.
think
That's billions of dollars.
Yeah.
That's how you kill a company.
Reading this article, though, I don't think that's what they're going for. This talks about the new standard saying it would encrypt internet traffic to improve security, almost like a VPN is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So if it's a VPN that only Google Chrome can use, that would be bad. But if there's a plugin for Internet Explorer or Firefox or things like that, which I think there probably would be, at least eventually, that could be fine. And the article also says that cable and wireless companies fear being shut out for much of user data if browser users move wholesale to this new standard, which is good.
Kind of.
So right now,
it's a 50-50 good.
Your ISP, unless you're using a VPN, which means that your data is encrypted from your computer to the server
or other computer, yeah.
If you're not using a VPN, then your ISP can see what websites you're visiting. But if this protocol that Google's implementing is similar to a VPN, it could mean that the wireless and cable companies couldn't detect the traffic going over their networks.
Correct.
Which is why they're upset.
At the same time, Google now sees where you're going.
Which is a problem.
Very big problem.
But it's still good that it's securing it from some people.
Yeah. So do you trust?
Or you could just get a VPN.
Yeah, or you just pay for a VPN. The thing that I'm worried about is that if Google does this, what stops Amazon from doing it? And then Apple eventually catching up and doing it. And then we're going to have 4 different internet protocols. You have the free government one, and then you have the Google and the Amazon and the Apple.
I think the Google one, I mean, again, this article is not in detail at all. It's so vague that it's not worth reading.
Oh, an expanded version of this report appears on this website.
Wall Street Journal.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not even opening the Wall Street Journal. They yell at my ad blocker every time.
But if Google makes this kind of open source, then I'm totally cool with it.
It'd have to be
depending on how much access Google has to your data, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Google already has a lot of access to my data, though.
But from reading this article, it doesn't look like... It looks like the other companies are worried about being unmonopolized, like no longer having access to your data, rather than it seems to indicate that Google will have more of a monopoly in the market. But, I mean, again, reading this article, it's like you don't get any information from it.
I'm not really worried about the near future. It's like the 20 to 15 year future.
Yeah.
Once it's all developed.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of separate internet protocols. Adding more internet protocols is fine. But if they add more now, why would they not take away the free ones later? Unless it's a money thing, of course.
And that brings us right into our sponsors.
Woohoo! Money, money, money.
This video is sponsored by Jmart Media and
Nephew Tech. That was fast.
Yep.
Make it a little longer, sponsors.
On to Facebook and VR. Back into the VR realm.
Back into VR. Speaking of privacy, how would you like Facebook to own the world?
Or at least the virtual world. Facebook announces Horizon, a VR massive multiplayer online world.
That's
I added online in there, but it's going to be online. I mean, come on. It's multiplayer.
Yeah. Articles over on TechCrunch, because it wasn't the other website that I had choice of. Facebook today announced it's building its own Ready Player One Oasis.
It's going to be a virtual sandbox universe where you can build your own environments and games, play and socialize with friends, or just explore the user-generated landscapes. This is Facebook's take on Second Life. What is Second Life? Did you ever play Second Life?
I did.
Is that the game that was for teens that they used to show at the library? There was some game they had at the library. It was like an online game, like a world. Oh, it was weird.
I think that at one point they had like their own room or something.
Yeah, it was
I don't
weird.
know, it was really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, Second Life is where you have... It's basically The Sims online.
Okay. Which
or like Webkins or Club Penguin or any of those where you can play with friends. Or Roblox.
So this will be going beta in early 2020. You can apply at a link on this page.
So with Facebook Horizon, from my understanding, it is Oculus Rift only, at least at the moment. That's what it says. And how long do you think it is before we get a second version for all the headsets? It's like,
I don't know. Is Oculus owned by Facebook?
Yes.
It must be. Okay.
Yep.
I think that Facebook will want as many people to play it as they can.
So you think they'll open it up later?
So I think they'll probably open it up later.
They're not going to try to like pull an Apple and be like,
yeah, they could. They could. I don't know.
They might just make a requirement. So if you want your headset to be able to play this, it needs to have this, this, and this.
Yeah.
So I really like this Facebook Horizon idea.
Okay.
For a couple specific reasons. I recently got Discord on my phone.
Oh, yes.
I finally downloaded it on my phone.
Okay. It's pretty sweet, right?
Yeah.
Super convenient. Ton of chat rooms you can join.
I still use IRC on my phone. It's way easier.
Discord's pretty easy.
Some dude was like...
Although definitely turn off your notifications because they get bad.
I just don't talk to people. But so I joined the Discord specifically because I needed some help with a motorcycle.
Yeah.
So I joined the one YouTuber Discord channel, and I found a guy who knew motorcycle carburetors like crazy well.
Yeah.
And so I was taking a picture, sending it over, and telling him like, I need a winch jet. He's like, and he circles it on his phone and then resends the image. Mm-hmm. Unscrew this one. I was like, all right. He's like, now screw it back in. And then screw in this one. And then what's the number on the side? And we got it all figured out. If Facebook Horizon has an option to share camera, because all the headsets have cameras on the front.
You know you can do that with Discord, right?
To like live? Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
I don't know if I've never done it from my phone, to be fair, but you can definitely do it with a computer.
Because I asked if live stream would be a better option, but then I didn't want to have to set up a live stream.
Yeah.
So it was easier just to take pictures.
We can try it out later, but I'm pretty sure it would work.
Because yeah, that would have. I don't know if he would have. They would have been okay.
Yeah.
With it,
yeah.
But it would have made it way faster because I stayed up for like 4 hours changing out the main jet on a carburetor.
Yeah, you can essentially do it with like Skype.
Yeah. Where
you can share your screen or you can share a video where they don't have to necessarily.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't know about that. But yeah, it'd be really cool with Facebook and their Facebook groups.
Yeah. To
be able to join your Facebook groups and be like, hey, I need help with this code problem. I keep getting this error on this line.
Yeah.
And then someone like, oh, I'm actually just dealing with this. Yeah. And then they can just jump into a chat with you.
We have something like that. It's called Google. And Stack Overflow. So Stack Exchange.
The benefit with Facebook is you had a little more authenticity. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know that people are a little more trustworthy.
Yeah. But looking at the images, it looks like pretty
Nintendo.
Cool. It actually reminds me of Wii Sports Resort.
I'm pretty sure that Nintendo
with the dog
can get a
fight
lawsuit
there.
On this.
Yeah.
Try Nintendo because you're gonna need it.
So currently, Facebook has 2 VR things. They have Spaces and Oculus Rooms, which they'll be shutting down on October 25th. So there'll be a short break between when those shut down and when Horizons boots up.
Which I think's fine. I mean, you can live a couple hours without VR, right?
A couple months, though? I don't know. It's rough.
No, I'm excited for it. I think it's really cool.
Are you excited for Atari's VCS console?
From my title on it, what do you think?
No.
Atari, kicking its dead horse, selling the same games again. I am so tired of Atari not doing anything.
Atari is launching their Antstream Arcade, which will bring thousands of retro games to the Atari VCS console.
So the first time I read this, I thought it said anti-stream.
Ah.
I don't know why. And it was like trying to kick it back old school where it was all offline. And,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, it's just selling a $250 console that has all their old games on it.
Yep. For $250, I think I'll pass.
The only way I see this selling, because I mean, the controller's a new age looking controller.
Well, retro things do sell for some people.
Yeah. I think if they made it like out of really high grade metals and like a really
high quality retro,
it would have sold
feel.
crazy. But it looks like it's plastic.
Because I know at least one person at my work who may very well buy it because of the retro feel.
Yeah. And with that many games, it would be great for the non-tech savvy that live out where there's not high-end, and then just the retired crowd. Or even like community centers for seniors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the fancy word for that, but it would be great for them because these are the games that they played before. Yeah. So they'd be able to catch on to it. I mean, it's not that hard to learn some of these games.
And plus, there's not many buttons. Actually, looking at that controller, it is.
There's a lot of buttons on that controller.
It is more like a
Xbox.
Yeah.
It's really close to Xbox.
Except I think the A, B, X, and Y keys are swapped.
No, I think they're the same. I think it's PlayStation. I don't know. You can look up real fast. Yeah, I think if there was really high-end materials to make it a collector's edition, it would have been really cool.
Yeah. Things like that really have to separate themselves. Otherwise, they just die.
It looks terrible. I don't have anything good to say about it, really.
This one's interesting.
Speaking of nothing good to say about it.
Amazon may soon be able to track your phone's location even if you don't use any of its products or services.
But somebody has to use their product or services, from my understanding. It may not have to be you, but Amazon's products will be able to start tracking you.
Yes. So the way this works is Amazon has a network of Wi-Fi hotspots set up across an area.
Yep.
So they ran a test, it looks like, in Los Angeles, where they placed 700 devices across the city. And they use something on your phone called the MAC address, which, do you know what that stands for? You probably do.
MAC
address, MAC. What?
It's the hardware address, so everything has a hardware address.
And it can be spoofed, I believe, so faked.
Yes.
Media access control is what it stands for.
I'm pretty sure spoofing's illegal, though.
It may be, but that's not going to stop people.
Yeah. Especially when
this may actually encourage people to spoof their MAC address. But anyway, all wireless devices, I guess devices probably have a MAC address.
Anything with the FCC.
Okay, anything registered with the...
I believe that's what it is.
I could believe that. Has a MAC address. So even if you're not actually connecting to a Wi-Fi network, if you have your Wi-Fi on and your phone is pinging out to Wi-Fi networks, those Wi-Fi networks are detecting that your phone is nearby.
And it does that even if you are already connected to a network.
So if you open up your phone and you drop down the list of Wi-Fis in the area, it's constantly updated. So your phone is still pinging out and seeing what Wi-Fi networks are nearby. Even if you're connected to a Wi-Fi network, as long as your Wi-Fi is on.
Yeah. And the good reason that it does that is for mesh networks. So if you have multiple routers, they all have the same SSID, the same Wi-Fi name, and the same password, and it finds a stronger one, it will auto-connect to that one. And that's why it's a good thing. So
can be a good thing, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't want to get rid of the idea of it continuously pinging for better Wi-Fi.
Well, that might be the only way to...
Stop this,
yep. And with it constantly pinging, it can also be easier to change Wi-Fi networks. Yeah. But since your phone knows what Wi-Fi networks are near to it, the Wi-Fi network also knows that your phone is near to it and can detect your MAC address when you're pinging it. Yeah. So if there's 700 Wi-Fi routers across a city and they can just track all the different MAC addresses that pass by it.
Yeah.
As the day goes by, they can detect, hey, this MAC address was in this part of the city, then this part of the city, then this part of the city, then this part of the city. So they can essentially track you, even if you're not using Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon app or
any of their apps,
Amazon Prime or
as
any
your
of that stuff.
You don't even have to have them installed.
And it can even go as far as if your friend has one of their routers installed in their house.
Yep.
It be like, oh, you were at their house, and it can remember that.
So the way this article was worded, it seems like it says the company found that placing 700 devices across Los Angeles was enough to cover the entire metropolitan area of the city. So it seems to indicate that Amazon placed them out there. Maybe they placed them at coffee shops for free.
I was about to say they probably offered free Wi-Fi or something.
They probably offered free Wi-Fi for coffee shops while also running this test. So it was kind of a trade-off. Good for the business to have free Wi-Fi, and good for Amazon to be able to track people.
They could have subsidized businesses to like, hey, can we plug this box in for $1,000?
Yeah, just to do their test.
Been like, yeah, sure.
But eventually, the idea is that your house will have an Amazon router. Yeah. Your neighbor's house will have an Amazon router.
And everyone at all their Echoes will have it built in.
Yep. So they're gonna even if it can't track exact location, it can track your general location as which Wi-Fi networks you pass through.
Amazon's going to get their own internet protocol, and then they're going to cut off on the public network, and you have to choose between public, Google, or Amazon. Conspiracy theories.
For your VR headset to connect to.
So I don't like this at all.
Yeah, it's
really
an issue.
Really tracky. This really did remind me of I think it was in China with all the cameras up everywhere.
Yeah.
And tracking people through face recognition.
Yep.
It's basically the same.
And the Hong Kong riots too.
Yeah.
The rioters were using umbrellas over their heads to block out the camera's views and also tearing down the poles.
Yeah.
The camera poles. Pretty sweet.
So check your router. See who.
Speaking of MAC addresses, you know what else has a MAC address? Or will soon?
The
Motorola Razr foldable phone.
Do I got any super chats yet? Oh, look at that. No super chats. Oh, man. This is over at CNET. Motor Razr foldable will squeak out a debut before year's end.
Before this year's end?
Yeah.
Nice.
Which is like 20 days or something like that. Scoop. Whoa. Internet freaked out. Where'd it go? There it is. The company initially eyed a summer launch date, but now it's aiming for later in 2019.
Did you see a price for the Razr? Oh,
yes. It was like 1900 or 1890 or it was in the almost 2000s. Yep, there it is. 1,900. Oh, that's the Galaxy Fold.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
I don't know if I saw the price in here, but the Razr's main competitors are the Samsung Fold, which we talked about last week, coming in at almost $2,000, which is going to be the phone that has the screen that folds, and the screen will be on the inside. It's releasing soon. It released earlier this year, but had issues and was taken off the selling block. And then the other competitor is Huawei's Mate X, which is going to be a $2,600 phone, which has not started selling yet. Unlike the Fold, the Mate X will fold and have the screen on the outside.
Which I think is even worse.
It sounds very fragile.
But I'm super excited for it. I'm not going to buy one, but...
Yeah, a little bit too expensive.
Yeah. If they can get them under 300, sign me up.
Good luck. Yeah, I don't see a price for the Razr, but...
It's coming fast.
It's coming fast. Speaking of moving fast,
Rockets?
Nintendo Switch Joy-Con is moving fast when you don't want it to.
Yeah, they're going to jump a couple articles there.
A few weeks back, actually probably about a month and a half back, we talked about the Nintendo Switch that had issues with the Joy-Con where it would move when you were not intending it to move. And when the Switch Lite came out, they said that the issue had been fixed, right? Or did we say...
They said
we hope
that
they've been fixed?
nobody knew yet.
Okay.
I think.
And apparently it had not been fixed. So the Nintendo Switch Lite has also been having an issue similar to this.
And it got joined in with the lawsuit.
And players are even saying that they detected these defects after only 20 hours of use, which is not very long.
One thing I feel sorry about them, Nintendo, with it getting roped in, is that they already have a program to get it fixed. So, like, they've already have something in place, and their new products are still getting roped into lawsuits. But before it even released, everybody was speculating if it would have the same problem or not. So you didn't go in buying into the Switch Lite not knowing that it could be a problem.
Well, some people would have.
There might be a couple. I think the people who would...
A lot of moms who bought the Switch for their kids.
You're right. You're not wrong. Man, I just feel bad for Nintendo. I don't think they're going to use the same factory ever again. I'm pretty sure that one just got blacklisted from Nintendo. That's rough.
That's pretty early.
One Day hires NASA engineer to run its new flying car division.
Where we're going, we don't need roads. Just wanted to say that.
We need a boat.
Yeah, so I didn't really have too much to say about this, but I thought it looked pretty interesting in terms of... It's kind of cool that people are looking at that. We had talked before about the 16 rotor weird taxi machine, right?
Yeah.
That has a top that looks like a normal helicopter, but instead of it being one blade, it's a lot of different individual blades.
Yeah.
So there are other people working on flying taxis and urban air mobility.
Yeah, like this today. Hayuan one day threw its hat into the Urban Air Mobility UAM ring. According to Hayuan Day, the UAM sector is expected to grow to 1.5 trillion within the next 20 years.
That's a lot of money.
That's a couple dollars.
Apparently, Uber is working on a flying taxi with Bell, a big helicopter manufacturer. Velociraptor, or how do you say that?
Volocopter?
Volocopter has an 18-rotor autonomous air taxi, which is what we had talked about before. And Boeing and Kitty Hawk as well, teaming up on their own venture. And Lilium's flying taxi. So, we'll see how that goes.
1.5 trillion in the next 20 years.
I have to commute through a lot of traffic every day. That'd be pretty nice.
I see 4 cars going the same direction as me every day.
I see a lot of cars not going any direction, just sitting there.
Hey, me too, but they're usually going facing the other direction.
Mr. Musk.
Sir Musk.
Mr. Musk is apparently pretty optimistic about SpaceX's Starship. He said that it may reach orbit in 6 months.
It will reach orbit in 6 months.
Will. Elon Musk hopes SpaceX Starship will reach orbit.
He'd even like to see a crewed flight within a year. These are very strong.
Starship. Did you share the picture of Starship?
Yeah.
Looks pretty insane, right? So their main goal right now is getting it reusable so that they can fly it a lot and prove that it will actually work. So this article even mentions that the Starship could fly 3 or 4 times a day, and the boosters could fly up to even 20 times a day. And that'll help prove that the technology is actually usable and safe and cost-effective.
Just to throw people out of the gravitation, right?
Yeah.
That's just to get people from ground to no gravity.
Yeah.
No, not no gravity, no G-force or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah, like a kind of neutral.
Yeah. Where they're floaty.
Yeah. Orbity.
Yeah, we're going to get these people orbity.
So SpaceX is planning for commercial service by 2021 and lunar tourist trip by 2023.
That's
And
really soon.
Yeah, and if they are able to get humans flying, like next year, it's a pretty good sign for them.
I wonder.
Pretty quick timeline though, pretty short.
I wonder if he's gonna try to get like a small colony on the moon, just to test how people work with each other when there's only 20 people to talk to every day for 2 years.
Well, you could do that on Earth too. But you just have to be kind of forced isolation.
Yes, so like, I think people's mentality will be completely different when it's not an option to get out. You can't just like, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm leaving.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to make it work or kill each other. That's the two options.
Now, I'm no space
pirate,
or like,
time traveler,
expert
space
on
doctor,
the moon and the Mars. But I think an issue with the moon is that the days on the moon are extremely long.
But on the inside, you can fake it.
The inside of the moon?
Not the inside. Like if you're inside a building, you could fake it with lights.
But the issue is that it gets super hot and super cold.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Whereas the Earth, one day is 24 hours.
Yeah.
So we have, give or take, 12 hours of sun.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's actually more, but we have so much sun every day and so much night. So it cools and it heats and it cools and it heats. And Mars is similar. But a day on the moon is essentially a month.
27.32 days.
Yeah, because as the moon is rotating around the Earth, the same side of the moon is facing the Earth.
It's only 655 hours in a day on the moon.
It's a long time.
It's a
Imagine how cold you'd be if you were in the sun, or how hot you would be if you were in the sun for that long. And then how cold you would be on the other side.
Yeah.
How long is a day on Mars?
That is 0.00281 Look at this. Look at this right here. How long is a day on Mars? Is my Googled. Mars length of day. It's this many years. In hours. Let's try that. In hours. It still does it.
Are you using Google?
Yeah.
Let's see what DuckDuckGo returns. Universe today.
24.62 hours long.
Yep. So, in that case, you've got Mars turning around,
Almost
and it's more similar to Earth.
Yeah.
So I think that's one issue with a colony on the moon. And then, of course, there's the issue of getting to the moon, and, no one's ever been to the moon before, so.
If you had 4 more extra hours every day, would you use that as time off or time on work? Would you get paid for an extra 4 hours, or would you take an extra 4 hours off?
First off, you didn't laugh at my nobody's been to the moon joke.
I didn't hear. I was choosing to think of my joke.
But,
what was yours?
No one's ever been to the moon.
Really? No.
Well, that's an interesting topic. So I have a friend. Good point. No, I had a friend who worked on a submarine. All right, in the Navy.
Did they go to the moon?
They did not go to the moon. But speaking of 28-hour days, and what would you do with the extra 4 hours?
Yeah.
So they did not do 24-hour days. They did 16-hour days.
8 and 8? Sleep 8, work 8?
Work 8 and then have 8 hours of free time. Work 8 and have 8 hours of free time. Because they were below the surface, there was no outside light anyway.
Yeah.
So they, for whatever reason, the Navy decided to do that.
So I guess you work 8, sleep 6, eat 2?
Something like that. But
I'd work 8, sleep 8.
Yeah,
but
but
not eat.
I don't think having a day that's a little bit different time would actually be that big of an issue.
No, I don't think it would be. I think if it was 23.97 hours versus 622 hours, it'll make a little bit of an issue. I don't think I can stay up that long.
Wait, what?
I don't think I can stay up 622 hours.
Oh, yeah, that would be an issue. Yeah, that would be an issue. But, so I don't think a colony on Mars is outrageous, other than, there's no oxygen there. But, I mean, you can, in theory, come up with a solution to that.
Take a lot of balloons.
No, but you can make a kind of fake, whatever.
Biodome.
Yeah. But I think that's the big issue with the moon, is that the length of the day makes some extremely hot and extremely cold temperatures. But hey, again, not a Moon or Mars expert, so you might want to talk to Mr. Musk on that one.
Just call him up.
Mr. Elon. All right. That brings us to Meme of the Week. Now you can go ahead and look at my meme first. It's not great, but it's not terrible either.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't post it as a link, but you know.
Yeah, I noticed.
It's not actually a boy linky.
Come on. Man, if there wasn't so much. Oh no, where'd it go? Undo. Let's just
Copy, paste. Yeah.
Control, tab, paste. There's like 17 spaces. Oh, it works. Dual monitors. Why can't we come to a happy resolution? Because I don't like your horn. It hurts.
I just thought it was funny.
That's pretty good.
The terminology there.
That's 3 puns in one.
Yeah.
Resolution. I mean, I like it.
And Star Wars, you know, always a cool topic. All right, now I've got to look at yours.
Mine's not as punny.
I hope not. Puns are the worst. All right. Gonna start hunting Amazon drones for free loot boxes. Oh, that's hilarious. Shooting down the drones, looking for the loot boxes. Oh, that's great. You're just gonna accelerate us towards the first armed Amazon drones. They're coming. They'll have the best loot.
Yes,
Classic. Man, I played a game. It was one of the coolest games
Did it have
ever.
surprise mechanics in it?
Yes, actually.
Oh.
It's dead now. It was
Good.
called. What was it called? Man,
I probably won't know it if you said it.
you wouldn't. Islands of Nine.
Never heard it.
It was kind of a cross between a battle royale, kind of Halo themed in terms of the robots and everything. Yeah, that's it. But unfortunately, the devs made bad decisions and all the players left, and then they shut down the servers. But man, it was the best game.
Huh.
And the only reason I'm bringing that up is because there were drones that flew around.
The
and you'd shoot
graphics
them
look
down
really
for
good
loot.
in it.
Yeah, it was really nice.
They got grass.
I loved
and
it. It was
yeah.
the perfect game. The mechanics were simple.
That's hard to
Simple
find
enough
in
to
a game now.
yeah. They were simple enough to get, but it was still difficult enough to have a learning curve. But man, it's dead now.
It'll come
But yeah.
back.
Yeah, there were drones in there that you could shoot down for loot.
Huh.
Not Amazon drones, but you know.
You can put a texture back
That's
on
pretty
it.
funny though.
They'll have the best loot.
They'll have the best loot. That's actually not the worst idea I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Except that they'll probably track their drones and you know you'll get caught.
More
but-
drones will come.
Yeah.
What happens if you have like one package with an escort of drones? And like there's one carrying a package and like 7
You know
drones
that's got some good
surrounding
loot.
it. They're all
Ah,
wearing sunglasses.
It's the president.
You know, then you could try to sell yourself on eBay and you can just fly with drones. If we can get drone shipping to be a thing.
Yeah.
Attach yourself to a little outdoor chair. One of the little plastic ones.
And a really big drone.
Yeah. If you can't
Really big.
If you can't afford props, knives work too.
Sounds dangerous. And
That's pretty much it.
that's it for this week. Join us next week as we tech about the tech things,
Talking about all the tech things.
including some artificial intelligence that detects objects from a
Oh.
camera.
Yeah,
That's all you're getting for now. We'll tech about it next week,
if we don't forget.
if we don't forget.
We won't.